Hey, good morning. It's George from Joint Effort Exercise. I am here for Joint Effort's Introduction to Balance and Strength, class number 9. Hope you've been enjoying the classes so far. I've been having a great time, as I'm sure you can see, instructing them and doing them. So I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. Same rules apply for today. So you're just going to need a sturdy chair. 2 forms of resistance could be dumbbells if you have them, but can also be cans or bottles or whatever you have, and just some water. And that's pretty much it. We will get started in the same way and do it in the same structure we have been. So a little bit of a warm up. I'll give about a 1-minute introduction of the first 2 movements. We'll go through those movements, and then we'll just keep going in the same pattern. So without further ado, let's get going with our just our warm up. So we'll do those modified jumping jacks. So nice low impact cardio movement. So just side to side like so, into the center, out to the left. And as I've said hundreds of times throughout the last few weeks, you do this at your own pace. It does not have to be at the speed I'm going. You can go slower or faster depending on how you're feeling. All right. That was our modified jumping jacks. Now let's get those feet a little bit wider for me. And we're just going to do those butt kicks. So you're just going to bring your heels back towards your rear end, just like so, shifting your weight back and forth. Nice and easy. We got our timer going. But I'm sure you can hear that. I might turn that down. It might get annoying. So we'll just keep going like so. 5 seconds left. And good. All right. And let's go into our high knees. So you're just going to have your hand on your sturdy surface. I'm going to get into the center here. And let's just bring those knees good and high. We're just warming up, again, all the muscles in your lower extremity. So not really challenging the balance too much right now. I'm just hanging on to this. If you want to do it without hanging on, by all means, you can do so. But you don't necessarily have to. All right. About 5 more seconds. And rest. Okay, and the last one I want to do, again, you can do this hanging on, is just an alternating kind of front lunge. Okay, so you're just going front and back, just like so. I'm just going to do it. So just a little bit of a lunge out to the front, and we're going to do that for 30 seconds just to get those quads warmed up a little bit. And the hamstrings a little bit as well. So just stepping forward, a little bit of a bend in that front knee as you shift your weight forward, just to get loose. All right, about 5 more seconds. And rest. Okay, excellent. All right, so that was a nice little warm up. You can grab a little bit of water if you need to. We'll go through the first 2 movements. So the first one is going to be a single leg hinge. So what that looks like, you're going to have one foot in front of the other like this. And all I want you to do, so this is like a split stance, what we call a split stance. I want you to lean towards your sturdy surface, and see how I'm just flexing and extending at my so I'm not bending my back as I go down. I'm keeping my back straight, and I'm going down, and I'm pushing mostly with my front leg, okay? So feet are in this position, slight bend in that front knee, and I'm just going down and up just like that, okay? So that's the first movement. And the second one is the rock the boat. So you're going to be in this position still, and I just want you to go front and back, just kind of changing momentum, all right? All right, so now let's put that right foot out in front. And again, keep your low back flat, and I just want you to hinge towards your sturdy surface. So I'm kind of pushing back up with my right leg, since my right leg is out in front. My left leg is just there for some balance, but I'm trying to use the muscles, my glutes, my hamstrings, and my hips on my right side while I'm doing that. So I just did my right side. For the second time, we'll do it with the left. All right, now we'll go to that rock the boat. So I want you to have your feet in a similar position. Let's just stick with that right foot being in front. And all I want you to do, arms kind of out to the sides, or you can have one kind of hovering over your sturdy surface, and you're just momentum shifting back and forth. If you can get your feet off the ground each time like I am, that is great. But if you want to keep your heel and your toe on the floor like I'm doing now, that is fine as well. So just back and forth. We have, okay, that was it. Okay, so now what we'll do is we will switch feet. So now I'm going to put my left foot out in front of me. Again, my left leg is going to be doing all the work. My right leg is just there for kind of stability and balance. All right, so hands hovering over. See how I'm just flexing out my hip? I'm not rounding my low back. I'm just flexing my hip as I'm doing this. So you want to make sure that you're using your glutes on this left side because my left foot is out in front. Down and up, just like so. So you should be feeling your leg on that left side getting kind of tired. That is totally normal. And this is our last one. Let's finish. All right, very good. So that's great for the low back, great for the core, great for your hips, glutes, and pretty much your whole lower extremity, as well as balance, of course. All right. So let's get that left foot in front now, and we're just going to do that momentum shift. So back and forth. Again, if you can challenge yourself and get those, get your feet off the ground each time, that is great. But if you want to keep your heel and your toe on the ground, that is totally fine. Just, again, everything at your own pace and at your own intensity for this. Okay, so just a few more seconds. Never mind, we are done. All right, so that was sequence number one. Okay, the next thing what we'll do is, again, grab some water, catch your breath a little bit, and we're going to go into our next group of exercises. Just want to make sure we're recording here. All right, so one that we've done both of these already, which we are going to see more of a trend over the next few classes, so it'll be a lot of review. So the first one is that hip abduction. So you're going to have your hand hovering over your sturdy surface, standing on one leg and going out to the side, just like that. All right. And the second one is going to be heel to toe walking. So what you'll do is we're just going to walk heel to toe, just like so. Very, very basic, not necessarily easy, but a basic movement. Okay. So let's get started. We're going to put our right hand on your sturdy surface. You're going to put your left foot out in front of you just a little bit and kick it out to the side. Okay, so that helps just so you don't hit the ground each time. There could be a slight bend in that left leg as you're doing this, and your right leg, I should say. So you're working those legs to help with strength, the shift in momentum with, bringing your leg is going to help with your balance, hip strength on the other side. So seems like a pretty basic movement, but there's a lot going on here. All right, very good. So shake that stationary leg out. That one is more tired for me. I'm assuming it's more tired for you as well. All right, so now we'll go into that heel toe walking. So just get as far back as you can away from your sturdy surface. And we're just going to try as best as you can to do this without hanging on. If you need to, get as far past it as you can as well, okay? So that's about as far as I can get past it without being able to touch it. Now I'm just going to go backwards. This is always more challenging to go backwards because we don't do that. We don't move backwards. So that's where I've talked about neuroplasticity a lot in my emails. It's so important to be doing physical movements that are different than in your day-to-day activity and movements because it helps with your brain health as well. All right. So now I'm going to just do the other side. My right leg is out in front, left leg is slightly bent, and I'm just kicking out to the side. Okay. Just like that. Again, you should be feeling your left leg now, whatever leg is stationary, working just as much as the one that's moving because it's keeping you in place and it's your hip muscles keeping you from shifting your weight out like that. So you should be feeling that muscle group working as well. This is called an isometric exercise for this stationary leg because it's not moving. All right, and back to that heel toe walk. So we're going to just get as far back as we can away from the chair. And all I'd like you to do is start walking heel toe. So same exact thing. Keep your core muscles nice and tight. Stand up as straight as you possibly can. And you're just walking as far as you can away from your surface, and then start walking backwards. Okay. Try to do this without holding on if you can, or just have your hand kind of gently touching the surface that you're using for stability, and just do as many rounds as you can. Okay, that is it. Sequence number 2 is complete. So grab some water, and I will go over the next 2 movements. All right, so tandem stance, pass. All right, we have about 45 seconds till we go again. So tandem stance with weight pass at chest. So this should be a little bit lighter weight. If you can, you don't even necessarily have to do that. So you're going to sit in that tandem stance like this, and I just want you to bring the weight up about to your chest each time. Okay, so we're not going to do around the, just around down your waist. I want you to bring it up so you're working the shoulders a little bit, and then down. Okay, so each time just like that. We'll start clockwise, and then we'll switch to counterclockwise. And the other is going to be that squat with the reach. So we're going to squat down and then reach to the side. Okay. So let's start with that tandem stance pass. So 1 foot tandem stance, again, it's just 1 foot in front of the other. So heel touching the toe. And I want you to just pass your weight up at your chest height. Okay. If you need to, you could be in a semi-tandem stance if you feel like you're really off balance. You can obviously spread your feet apart a little bit more, but keep them one in front of the other regardless, if that makes sense. So they shouldn't be at the same length. So, but ideally try to do it in a tandem stance, which is your heel touching your toe. I just did counterclockwise rather than clockwise, so we'll do it clockwise the next time. All right. So next, we're going to do that squat and reach. So I'm going to squat down, and I'm going to reach to the reach to the right with my left hand. So squatting down, and I'm reaching to my right. Squatting down, reaching to my right. I'd like you to turn your head as well with this. Okay, so kind of keep your eyes right on your hand, but keep your hand on your sturdy surface as you're doing this, because as you do, you're going to feel a little bit off balance that you're staring at your hand. It sounds kind of silly. It is, but it is what it is. Okay. Let's grab that weight again. So this time I'm going to put my left foot in front of my right. Okay, so I'm standing in that tandem stance. Again, if you need to do semi-tandem, that is fine. Pass around the back, up at the chest. Pass around the back, up around the chest. Just like so. So keep those core muscles nice and tight the whole time that you're doing this. Getting good. Standing up nice and straight. Getting a little bit of a chest stretch while you're doing this. All right, very good. All right, and now we're going to do that squat, and we're going to reach with the right hand up towards the left. So feet a little wider than shoulder width apart. And what I'd like you to do is focus on the breathing here too. Inhale down, exhale up. Inhale down, exhale up, just like that. So you want to be doing that really kind of with everything that you do. Always want to be exhaling on exertion. So just remember that. When I worked in the pulmonary rehab at St. Raphael's, which is Yale now, that's what we were teaching our clients or patients to do, was the inhale down, exhale up, or exhale on exertion. So anytime they're doing something challenging, make sure you're exhaling while you're doing it. All right, grab some water. We're more than halfway done now. So grab some water. I'll go over the next couple of movements. Feet together, head up and down, and forward step with a twist. All right, so we're getting a little bit more twisting in, which is good. So first one that we're doing is feet together, and you can have your hand on your sturdy surface, and head is just going to go up and down, just like that. So extend up, extend down, very simple. The second move we'll do, you're going to take a forward step like we did in the warm-up, but this time we're going to twist and then come back to the center, okay? So forward step, twist your head, twist everything towards your sturdy surface so you can grab that if you lose your balance, and you're going to twist and then roll back, all right? So let's get those feet together, literally touching. Have your hand hovering over the surface you're using, and head goes up and head goes down. So look all the way up at the ceiling, find a spot there, and then look down at your toes, just like so. So you're looking everything that's directly in front of you, essentially. Okay. All right. Very good. So next movement is going to be that forward step and twist. So you're just going to step out, a little bit of bend in that front leg, and twist everything over to the right this time. So you're stepping with your right foot, and you're going to twist your head, shoulders, hips, everything to the right, okay? And then come back to the center. Again, always be twisting toward the stable surface, just in case you lose your balance. As you start to twist, you have that there for stability. All right, 5 seconds. Okay, very good. And now back to that first movement. So feet literally touching and core muscles nice and tight. Stand up good and straight. You can have your hand hovering over your sturdy surface. Look all the way up and then all the way down. Just like so. Very good. Almost there. Okay. Now, the next one, I'm going to move my chair, but if you cannot move your sturdy surface, I want you to just turn the other direction and do exactly the same exercise. But I want you to be twisting towards your sturdy surface, which is what I'm doing. So now I'm stepping out with my left. I'm twisting to my left, which is toward that sturdy surface now. Step, twist, back to the center, back. Step, twist, back to the center, step back. Good. Remember, everything is at your own pace. Do not have to go as quickly as I do, but you can go faster if you're capable. All right, very good. Let me put this back over. All right, so we are almost done. We have one more sequence, then it's time to stretch. So grab some water. So we have 2 movements that we will be doing for our last sequence. The first one's going to be clock taps. So the clock taps, you're going to be pretending like you're in the center of a clock. With your right leg, we're going to touch the 12, the 3, and then the 6, keeping that left leg bent and stationary, okay? Just like that. So we'll get us through as many times as you can. Going backwards is always the most challenging. And then the second movement is going to be what we call that grapevine. So you're going to step back behind you, just like that. All right. So let's get ready for the clock taps. Have your hand hovering over the surface. Do not white knuckle on that surface. Left leg bent just a bit. With your toe, just slightly tap the 12, the 3, and the 6. Like, think about it like you're literally putting your toe on an egg, and you do not want that egg to break. So we shouldn't be shifting our weight with this one. You're really just depending on that stationary leg to keep you balanced. As I said before, going backwards is always the most challenging because we don't do that. So don't be discouraged if that's the more challenging movement for you. All right, so now we'll do that grapevine. You can either do this facing your sturdy surface, that's totally fine, or you can do it, nice and close to it. You're going to step back with that right leg and step back with that left leg. So we're just going back and forth. This again, and a little bit of a bounce each time that you do it too. So you should have your knee bending just a little bit in both legs, actually, as you're doing this, in order to get as much as we can out of it. Just like so. 5 seconds. And rest. All right. And now we're just going to do the clock taps on the left side. So right leg staying stationary. Again, you're in the center of a clock. This time we're touching 12, 9, and 6. So slight bend in that right leg. And remember, you're just with your tiptoe, you're tapping on that egg. You do not want that egg to break. So just like so. Out in front. Out to that number 9. And out to that number 6. 12, 9, and 6. That right leg should be fatiguing a little bit. If you have it bent a little, that is totally fine. Again, that's where we're going to be improving our strength. Okay, last one, hit that 6, and we are done. All right, class number 9 is in the books. I hope you enjoyed it. That was a good group, group of movements. But again, as I said in the beginning, this will start to be a little bit more review. So you might need to kind of think about how you were doing in the beginning of this, this class or sessions, if you will, and how much better you're doing now. Obviously, doing it more frequently is better. So if you guys can revisit this link, throughout the week, rather than just doing the 2 times, obviously you will be getting better results. And the nice part about balance and this kind of strength work, you can really do it whenever you'd like. You don't have to wait, days in between to do it. Other forms of strength training you do, if you were really working with, heavier weights, you do have to wait that day in between because that's actually where you're going to be realizing the results. But with this type of training, you can literally do it every day, and I encourage you to do it. All right, so let's take a seat. Let me turn this off, and we'll go through our stretches, and you will be good to go. All right, so let's just shift this down a little bit. Okay. All right, so let's get that right leg out in front and just leaning forward a little bit. You're going to feel a nice stretch in your right leg, in your hamstring. All right, let's lean up. You're going to keep that right leg totally straight now. Point the toe back towards your chest. Lean forward. You should feel a nice stretch in your calf now with that different position of your leg, which is strange. But again, it is what it is. Okay, let's switch to the other side now. So left leg's going to be out in front, slight bend in that left leg. Lean on down. Feel a nice stretch in your hamstring on the left side. Okay, come on up. Keep that left leg totally straight now. Point your toe up towards your chest and lean forward very, very slowly and slightly. You'll feel a nice stretch in your calf on the left side this time. About 5 more seconds here. All right, and let's cross the left leg over your right. Gonna have my left hand underneath my left knee. And now I'm just leaning forward very, very slightly. So you should feel a good stretch in your left hip. Okay. All right. And we'll just switch to the other side. Same thing. Right leg over the left, just leaning forward. You should feel a nice stretch in your right side this time. Okay. And next, we're just going to take our sturdy surface here. And what I'd like you to do is just put your right leg back behind you. You're gonna stand up, hands right on that chair, and slight bend in that, or actually pretty big bend in that left leg. Right leg almost straight. Keep your body perpendicular to the floor, leaning forward. Feel a nice stretch in the top of that right leg. All right, straighten out that front leg now. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Left leg's back behind me now. Pretty much straight. I'm leaning forward. Feel a nice stretch in the top of that left leg. So this is a really important one. We sit a lot during the day, and we have sat a lot during the day throughout careers and other times of life. So this hip flexor muscle, these two hip flexor muscles, actually, there are two muscle groups in there. They get very tight, and that's what causes a lot of low back discomfort. So let's straighten out that front leg, come back. So stretching them out is really important. All right, I'm gonna shift this up again. Someday I'll have my own cameraman, and I won't need to do this. But that is the end of the class. I hope you enjoyed it, and you'll be joining us for class number 10, which will be in just a couple of days. But again, I encourage you to do these as much as you possibly can if you want to improve your balance and strength. And if you have any other questions about our other forms of strength training, please feel free to email me at george@jointeffortexercise.com. We do a lot more, strength training. And if you're interested in having a strength training virtual class, just send me an email and say, I'd like a little bit more strength training if possible. And we can, possibly work on that as well. But I hope you enjoyed the class. Again, I said it 3 times, and hope you have a great day. See ya.